Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Good evening out there. You have tuned into another episode of Bars Unlocked, Stories Behind the Cells. Bars Unlocked is where we're having thought-provoking conversations about incarceration, not just from those that are incarcerated, but from their loved ones, those that are advocates for the stop of mass incarceration. So we are here to hear the stories, the trials, the successes, and all of the in-between here on Bars Unlocked. This is what every story have a purpose. So we're excited to have you all here with us today. I am Dr. C, the Purpose Resuscitator, with my co-host, Keeping It Real, Drew. We're missing Miss Holly P on today, but we know she'll be on for the next episode. So what's going on, Drew?
Hey, good morning, good evening, good hour, wherever you at. We come to bring this knowledge to you today. That's what we keep bringing.
Absolutely. You know what? So normally we would have a little bit of conversation, but we're going to get right into it. When I tell you we're constantly having amazing guests, and we want most of the show to be about their stories. And I'm telling y'all, this is another good one. This is another banger. So let's get right into it.
It don't make no sense. I be getting all this money, dog. It don't make no sense. I feel like I'm Kodak Black in 2015. In a built with plenty killers miss.
All right, so Keeping It Real, Drew, who do we have with us today?
Bars Unlocked community. I'm delighted to introduce you to our guest on today, Jordan Daniels. Jordan's journey is one of resilience, talent, and the pursuit of passion. As a music producer and engineer, Jordan possesses a remarkable talent for creating, captivating melodies, and crafting sonic masterpieces. However, his journey has not been without challenges. Recently returning home from a period of incarceration, Jordan knows all too well the impact of life's unexpected twists and turns. In a world where something as simple as a misstep can lead to incarceration, Jordan's story serves as a true reminder of the complexities of our justice system. Despite facing adversity, Jordan has remained steadfast in his dedication to his craft. Before his incarceration and now, Jordan has continued to produce great music, showcasing his resilience and determination to pursue his passions regardless of the obstacles in his path. Join us as we delve into Jordan's inspirational journey of resilience, creativity, and the power of music that transcends barriers. His story is a testament on the resilience of the highest human spirit and the transformative power of pursuing one's passion against all odds. So, with no further ado, we introduce you to Jordan.
Good morning.
All
Good morning.
right.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Afternoon, world. How you doing? How y'all doing this morning?
We good, bro.
We good. You know, we had to go and put it out there. That intro, you know, we try to make sure we spotlight you real good.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So
Thank you
we're
so
gonna
much.
get right into it today. We're gonna get right into it. Keep it real, Drew. What you got for us? What questions you got for us today?
Uh, so just tell us from the beginning where you were before your incarceration and leading up to your incarceration.
Before my incarceration, I was staying with my mom at the time. We're having a couple of things going on at the house. My grandmother passed in 2019, so she had just gotten the house, and my mother's disabled, so I was staying with her, trying to help out with a lot of things around the house, helping with the medical bills, helping with the bills in general. And I was just kind of in a real weird financial space. I'm not going to say bad, but it was weird because there were things that I could do, but there were also things that I couldn't accomplish. We had to get the roof fixed at the time. There were leaks all over the house and stuff. My car wasn't running the best. Her truck was having issues, so it was a lot going on at that time. I was still pursuing music at the time, but that was kind of a wavering thought in my head, and I needed another source of income to try to aid with everything that I had going on at the moment. So,
All right.
So, what led up into your incarceration? How
um,
did that go?
so I found out about a position to be a petitioner around the city from a friend. And basically what we did was we would go around, and it was a simple job, just getting people to fill out petitions. We went out to, I think it was Beach Boulevard. It was like a flea market, and met some guys who were actual like real petitioners, and they were going to basically hire us to help them out. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was cool the first couple of days, and then we had to go to different locations, and it was hot. And there was a lot to deal with, talking to different people, because, we standing outside of gas stations, supermarkets, malls, and we just trying to talk to different people, and everybody's on the go. So it was kind of frustrating trying to get people to, sign these papers, and we getting paid, $1 or $2 maybe a paper. And me and my friend had the bright idea, like, hey man, we should just fill these papers out on our own, but we can't just make up people. So we had the real bright idea to fill them out using public records. And we started out with the petitions, and we probably do like 50 or 75 at a time, filling out these petitions with public records, just general information like a name and a date of birth. From there, he found out about a voter registration job where we could get voter registration papers filled out for money, and it was through Florida Rising. So basically, we met with a representative from that company, and she helped us fill out our application, and then we were told to print out a bunch of these voter registration forms. And the idea was to go to malls, go to gas stations, go to retail stores, and basically get people to register to vote if they haven't already, or if they have, to fill out this form. And we're trying to get Republican voters, basically. So the more Republican voters we got, the more we got paid. If they register to vote, we get paid, but especially they're Republican voters. So we had the bright idea to, do the same thing with that. The thing about that is, though, it required a little bit more information. So now we go from using names and date of birth. Now we fill in our driver's license numbers and stuff like that. We were using public records, and that's when it became a problem, because we were sending in so many papers. And eventually it got to the point where, from what I was told during my arrest, we had sent in more papers than any member of the Florida Rising group in the state of Florida, which was a real red flag, because everybody couldn't be Republican. On top of the fact that we weren't checking the actual, background information of the individuals we using. So we were also using deceased people unbeknownly to us, which is another red flag. So the person who we were working with got notified from the state that there was fraudulent activity going on. She notified us, and I was in a situation financially where it was like, well, ma'am, you already paid us. You know, what's the worst that could happen? And she specifically told me on the phone that you could be facing some serious jail time, you know, and I didn't pay attention to it. And that probably was about maybe midway through 2021. So this is around the summertime. They start filing charges a little bit after that. And then I guess about November, around the time of November, I got pulled over at a traffic stop, and I found out that I had a warrant for criminal use of identification. So, and again, like, I didn't take it serious at the time because I simply was like, well, we didn't steal credit card information. We didn't steal, you know, IDs as far as like duplicating IDs. We didn't break into some database or something. But again, knowing the law and knowing the severity of the actions that we commit, you know what I'm saying, doing criminal activity is very important, because if we knew the actual outcome of the things that we do and how they affect the system that we're in, then we would make better decisions, I think. And that was me having a lack of knowledge of my situation, especially me just overlooking, because it says on each individual paper, you know, any fraudulent activity done with these forms can net you 5 years per paper. So, you know, it turned into a very messy situation. They put me on the news. I became like a real point of conversation on social media. It was crazy. They had my mugshot on the news. It was something I never experienced in life.
Wow. And you know, and just even what you're saying is because you didn't use their driver's license information. You just put all this information on here, so it wasn't really a person. And so there are other people out there that are thinking the same thing. We look at it technically, but we can't look at things technically. It's either legal or it's not. And so
Right.
there's so many other people, like you said, that's probably in the same situation. These people just come to you and say, hey, go do this. They don't ask you no questions. You're not getting the not no big major interview. It's just, we need y'all to go out here and do this, and you could be anybody almost. And so
Correct.
just that need for just money to survive. Like, what I'm kind of hearing is we trying to survive, and it just came, and I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that say that, but I ain't really using that kind of information. There's so many other people kind of justifying it, and I think it's really important now. And I'm glad that you're on, because right now we're in that season
Right.
of voting. And so I see people all over saying, hey, get petition signed, get this signed, get that signed. And they need a massive number of people. And I think that also need to be training too, to say, these are the different things that can cause you to become incarceration. Not if you just don't take one person's information, but if you put different information on the different forms, you can go be incarcerated. I think that needs to definitely be part of a training, and not just assume everybody understand that, oh, okay, if you forge people information, well, I ain't really forged that person information. I just put all different kind of information. Somebody's going to say that. And then they're not going to understand what type of time they're facing. And it's so funny you said about, getting petitions signed and people on the go. I know when I was running for public office, and, we got to get we want to get on the ballot, and I have to pay the money. And I remember somebody told me, I went up to somebody and he was like, listen, I've signed enough petitions. I'm not signing another one. And I'm like, but I'm trying to get on the ballot. Like, it was so many people downtown with all kind of petitions. And it was just like, everybody. So you may have 10 people coming at you back to back to back, and it's all 10 different things. But he signed it for me because he went ahead and signed it for me. I'm like, sir. Like, so he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for you. But I totally understand. And we didn't want to pay the almost $4,000 to get on the ballot. So we want to get those petitions signed. But for if it was somebody else, that it was me. So I'm gonna make sure I'm getting it right. But for those that have to send out other people and that money, yeah, making that amount, and some places pay $15 an hour or 20 to knock on doors and get petitions signed.
Right.
That's
Right.
a that's a little bag for
Right.
a minute. So I totally understand that. So what was it like? I know you're on the news and you say that that was like the worst thing ever. So as you are, doing the time, uh, or even your first day, like now, I got this time, and they done told me how
Right.
much time. Like, what was that like, or what was running through your head?
So when I first, there came a point during the time that I was going back and forth to court when I realized I'm probably gonna have to sit down and do some time. But there's a sense of anger, and then after the anger and frustration comes in, it's kind of like I had a sense of accountability. Well, you know what? I was in the wrong. No matter how I want to word it or who I want to blame, I got to fall on the sword of accountability with this one because I took these actions. So, I got to pay my debt. I was just in the mind state of I didn't want to go to prison because what they were offering was like 3 to 4 years in prison. And I didn't want it to take me, away from my family for that long. My mom, my niece, all of my brothers, the music that I was doing at the time. I had a lot going on trying to produce and manage artists and stuff. So I just didn't want to be going for that long. So worst case scenario, I was like, if I can just get them to just, I take a year or something like that so I can at least be back into society and kind of regain my traction. I remember the day that I got sentenced, and it was a negotiation between me and the state trying to figure out what we are going to do. And the judge initially, the state offered me adjudication withheld, which is one of the main points that I wanted to stress. Like, man, I'm not a career criminal. This isn't what I do. You can check my rap sheet. Like, this, I'm not just some fraudulent scamming guy. This isn't me. This was just, a mistake, honest mistake that I'm willing to be accountable for. The judge at the time felt differently. He felt like my actions were too egregious and that I had basically disrespected the voting system. And I mean, I disagreed with him because the things that we did, the only thing that I saw on paper was that we just got monetary gain because it never actually affected the system itself. It's just that, we had the audacity to try something like this. And I believe it's a situation where it was a trickle down effect, which goes back to what I was saying earlier. You got to know what you're doing out here, and the things we think are so simple and so meaningless can really impact a lot of other situations because there might have been other people doing it or other, situations that have happened. We've all heard about the situation with Trump and how he was messing with things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just based off of that alone, me doing what I did was just like real touchy subject. You know what I'm saying? It's voting season. So it's a lot of things and factors that went into it. And we became, the example. I became the example for this situation. Like, hey man, you guys are too smart for your own good. So he felt like, I needed to learn that lesson. So I ended up going back to court again for a final pretrial. And that's when I accepted the time, 10 months incarcerated with 2 years probation. That first day going in there, I think I may have slept for like 2 or 3 days. They sent me straight to the county. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't, I didn't call home to anybody. I was just kind of like in a state of mind, a shock where it's like, okay, I have to get used to this. This is going to be my life for the next 8 to 10 months. So I have to prepare myself mentally for whatever comes about. But at the same time, knowing that I have a date to come home and I have a chance to reincorporate myself back into society and become a better person. So that was one of my main thoughts, getting home safely and becoming a better person out of this, learning from my mistakes and not letting it be a hindrance.
Okay.
Did you do anything in jail while you were incarcerated, like for you to preparing you to come out?
Initially, at first, and I can be like completely transparent. No, not at all at first. It was a very big adjustment at first. They sent me to the county for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I hated the county every single moment of that situation. Just the treatment of the inmates. they can't differentiate between what crimes you've done. You're an inmate. Once you put on that uniform, you're an inmate. So they're gonna all treat you the same, no matter how articulate you are, no matter your background or education. You're an inmate either way. So just getting used to that, getting used to the mentality of the other inmates around me. You know, some people in there, they don't have nothing to come home to. They didn't have nothing before they left. Some people just did all type of wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some people dealing with drug addiction. It's just a lot of things going on, you know. So initially, no, I was just kind of in pure like survival mode, just kind of staying to myself. Once I was transferred to the P farm and I kind of got in a situation where I found out there were more programs offered, then I started to try to reach out and get in different programs. I was able to get into the program with Dr. Carter, which was a real blessing. That was a super duper blessing. She taught me a lot about myself. I learned about how to handle business correctly. You know, a lot of things I could do to catapult my career. And it made me really feel like I can have a second fighting chance at what I want to do in life. I also was in the dog program. So I am a certified dog trainer, something I haven't pursued yet, but I definitely want to look forward to doing that in the future. That was fun too as well. That was definitely fun. So I did do a couple of programs. Outside of those programs, I became like an avid reader. I read up more about the music business. Dr. Carter had a book about 50 Cent that was very, very good. I can't remember the name right now, but that was very, very good. I learned a lot of things about just how to carry yourself as an individual and in the music industry and in life. I read Think and Grow Rich. I definitely read the Bible a lot just for insight and, you know, just to keep a peace of mind. I did a lot of reading. A lot of planning and preparation. So things would be different when I come home, because one thing I did miss was the music. You know, I miss my family above all, but I missed the ability to do the music. Like I literally would wake up in the middle of the night and just want to do music because I had access to it, and that got taken, that privilege, you know what I'm saying, got taken away from me. So it was hard at first, but I definitely made the best of my situation. I
Yeah,
think I
so
did.
yes, Mr. Daniels was in the entrepreneur program, and
Okay.
so that was a very, very enlightening time. And so for me is, he's done to me phenomenal since he's been home. But to men that to work with men that may not see certain things, or you see it at a certain level, and just saying, oh, these things right here, and expand on it. So that would, for me, it's always great to always learn something myself. I learned something from
Right.
all of them. And so just to see that he was excited about music beforehand, and me, I'm like, well, do you got a studio? Like, I'm asking all these things right here, because if people don't have it, no, we need to find something else for you to do right now. know. But I can truly say, so Bars Unlocked community out here. So the intro that you all hear and that nice music that was done by Mr. Daniels Kingpin Music. So I'm
Yes, ma'am.
excited, and I've been able to use his talents, and it's been amazing. So I'll keep a few little stories to the end. But Drew, what else you got?
So what do you got going now? What are you working on, and what are you bringing back
Right
currently?
now, I'm actively working with different artists. I've got at least, since I've been home, I've got at least 3 projects from 3 separate artists that are already out on iTunes and other platforms, other streaming platforms. I've been in a couple of videos since I've been home. I'm currently working on a curriculum to have a music program for the youth where they can come in and learn everything from the beginning to the end, not just how to rap and stuff like that. I mean, that's going to be included, but also how to produce, how to songwrite, how to compose, how to engineer, and then what to do when you have these records done. You have a record done. How do you get it mixed and mastered? How do you get it published? How do you get your copyrights? How do you market and promote this record? How do you get graphics done? How do you get a videographer done? And what tools do you do to get yourself out if you don't have the money to do it? And then just teaching them the different aspects of the entertainment industry, because there's so many ways that you can get a profit and make money versus just being a rapper. And I find that the person behind the camera, the person sitting in the director's seat, the person sitting behind the keyboard, they make a lot more money than the person that's sitting behind the microphone. So it's so many avenues that the youth really don't have to go through. They just follow suit with everybody else because it's a lot of Indians, but it's not a lot of chiefs in the music industry. You know.
Right. So I wanted to ask, so since coming out, and we know some people can get straight into, I would say a lot of other nationalities and races. As soon as they get out, they go straight into whatever they was doing. They probably had businesses beforehand. They got everything prepared for them. So what was it like coming out and you have to like almost start from ground zero again to really get to where you need to go. So how was that, and what are some of the difficulties when it comes to being a returning citizen, whether it's getting a job, whether it's continues to do what you need to do, all of those different things?
I'd say the main struggle and the one thing that I had to realize is nothing's going to happen overnight. And whatever I did to put myself in this situation isn't going to be corrected with just one move. I lost a lot because of a split second decision to just go ahead and do this to make some money. And I lost so much time away from my family, away from my craft, away from my loved ones, just because of a split second decision to think, okay, that split second decision cost me some time. Now, when I come home, I need to realize that it's going to take time to rebuild. But making another split second decision is not what I need to do because that might net me back in the situation I was in before. So, it was a process in the beginning. Of course, trying to find employment. I'm blessed to have a craft where I can work for myself. It wasn't slow at first when I came home because I had people waiting on me that wanted to work with me, but everybody doesn't have the opportunity. So I would just say to any person who's returning home from jail, prison, please, 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 whatever you do, stay the course. Don't go back into old habits or old thoughts because you're trying to rush to get somewhere, because you rushing to get somewhere may have put you in the position that you were in initially anyway. Everything takes time, and nothing that comes overnight is worth having or is going to be there for a long time. So having a solid foundation of knowledge to where you know what you need to do, make a game plan, take advantage of these programs that they have when you come home. Definitely do that. Do everything that you can to prepare yourself. So once you do come home, you have a game plan. So you're not just running around trying to figure out the next hustle or the next thing you can do for quick cash. Find some type of stability and take advantage of these programs, because there are people like Dr. Carter who are willing to help. There are programs they have in place that they will help you find a job. They will help you find housing. A lot of people come home and they don't want to take advantage of these programs because of their pride or, oh man, I used to do this. I'm not used to living like this. Trust and believe, I wasn't used to a lot of stuff I had to go through. But in order to become a returning citizen and to properly grow yourself in this society, you have to kind of understand how things go and just take your time out here and move a step at a time. Don't rush things out here. Have a plan. Take advantage of all these opportunities and these programs for returning citizens, and don't rush anything. Do not rush at all.
And I like what you said. So, and because I do know Mr. Daniels, in the beginning when he first got out, so I'm glad he's telling y'all really, really, really take advantage of the programs. And I want to say this, everyone that's willing to help you is not trying to gain anything. Because sometimes we have so many people that will help, but they have an ulterior motive on the back end, whether it be funding, whether it be they need you to do something for them. And so I remember talking to Mr. Daniels when he first came out, and I said, well, why didn't you just call me for that? Well, Dr. Carter, and this is all of them. They Dr. Carter, no, like, listen, this is a no judgment. This is the space to where whatever you need, I probably got an answer for it. What was the key thing I used to tell y'all in class? We don't deal in what?
We don't deal in excuses.
We don't deal in excuses. So I always already thought of the answer to every excuse they probably could give me. So you need transportation, I got bus passes. You need housing, I got that too. You need clothes, we got that. You need a haircut, we got that too. So everything they could have asked, we had an answer for. And so I like the fact that you said just take advantage of it. And so now Mr. Jordan, he'll call. He'll call when he want to know about something. He gonna call me now. I'm like, why beat your head up trying to figure it out? Just make the phone call. Just make the phone call. Definitely. And we're gonna get you through it. Whatever we gotta do, we're gonna make sure you are successful. So there are so many other organizations, there are other people out here, Bars Unlocked community, guys that may be watching this right now from prison or jail. There are some programs out there that will help you all the way. They will help you with every part so that you don't be return back to incarceration. So make sure you take advantage of all of those things. And so how are you enjoying being back doing what you love?
I love it. I wholeheartedly love it. I love being in a profession where it's not self-centered. Like, I love being able to bring somebody else's dreams to life through intellectual properties, and somebody can bring me an idea and we can sit down and creatively come up with something that other people will like. I love being able to be a teacher. I love being able to be a student of the game. I love being able to, enjoy music with other people that we've created and share it to the world. It's just really a cool experience and something that I deeply, deeply miss. And I also, going back to my incarceration, the decisions that I made that got me incarcerated could have been fully avoided had I just focused on my business, but I was misguided thinking that my business wasn't going to bring me the money and the time that I needed it to. But I've been thriving off my business since I've been home. So I kind of think back to had I just stayed the course, it would have been a little bit of a bumpy ride. But had I stayed the course, I could have avoided a lot of things. So letting that just be a learning lesson to just stand on my business and trust and believe in what I got going on, And if I do the right things and stay the path and stay the course, eventually things will turn around. So,
and that's what I always say: follow the what? Process. Yes. Follow the process, because incarceration actually puts you like 3 steps behind, rather than the bumpy road. Now you're trying to come up out of a hole. So follow the process out there, Bars Unlocked community. Yes. Whatever your process is, whatever it is, follow the process so that way we can see you on the other side. What you got? You got something, Drew?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that your message with the youth when you're talking about your experiences and the things that you would like them to know? Is something as simple as voter fraud, or something as simple as filling out something on a voter thing could get you in a situation where you're messed up. It could have been 5 years each thing, right? So what's your main message that you want to put out to everyone, whether they're grown or the youth, that about situation you can get into and it's hard to get out of?
Think before you act. Every action that we take in life has a consequence, but we're given free will to think about our actions before we take them. And we also given free will to think about the choices of our actions before we take them. And I believe a lot of times we take action without really thinking about the consequences of our actions or other actions that we could take so we could avoid certain situations. A lot of times, it's fast paced, it's moving. Everything's moving out here. Everybody's fast paced. Everybody's trying to make a quick buck. Everybody's trying to make a better way for themselves, and that's understandable. But certain choices and decisions that we make out of desperation or out of frustration could cost us our freedom or even our life. And I would say to the youth, just take your time out here. I see a lot of them rushing to the grave and rushing to the cell, and it's not needed. It's not needed at all. Just take your time. You got enough time in the world and enough knowledge out here and enough opportunities out here to where you can take the road less traveled. You can take the harder way out here. I understand the environment that we were brought up in, and the situations that we go through are harsh, tumultuous even, but at the same time, like, you got to realize that you're not a full product of your environment. You choose to be if you decide to go down that road. You know what I'm saying? Because every action that we have, like I said, it has a consequence. So just be more mindful of the things that you do, the places that you hang out, and the people who you're around. And if you don't have to fit into the crowd at all, you can do your own thing and become successful out here, and be an inspiration to other people versus just following the pack, or trying to fit in, or trying to do something because it's the norm, or because you're used to it. Because then you get caught up in the whirlwind of situations, then you assume that that's your lifestyle, that that's the only thing that you can do, when that's not the case at all. Because if you have the intelligence to survive, you have the intelligence to grow and strive out here and do things that, other people couldn't think you would do, or you couldn't think you would do, but you just got to dedicate and put yourself in the mind state that I'm going to focus and do things that are positive in my life, things that are going to help me get away from my situation instead of just grow within the situation and make it a bigger problem. So I would just say to the youth, take your time before you make these decisions, think everything through, and realize every action has a consequence, and learn the consequences before you make these actions. Because I'm pretty sure you can tell by looking at other people, looking at other situations, like, some things just don't end well. Certain actions lead to consequences you may not want, or nobody's the exception to the rule. I didn't think I would really get caught or get incarcerated or have a felony from this situation. I just thought, they weren't going to take it that serious. It's just a bunch of papers and signatures, but it's a life lesson. Had I really thought more about my actions, then I wouldn't have had these consequences.
Okay. That's a great message, man, because we get out here and we think that we could do any little thing, and then next thing you know, we caught up in doing time for something we could avoid it.
Right,
So I
right,
appreciate that message that you're giving, because any little thing could turn into something big just in a split second.
right. Definitely.
So working with art, what's your best thing about making music? What is your best feeling? What kind of feeling it give you? What's the best aspect of making music?
Um, I feel like me just making actual songs and getting in here with an artist, because I make my own music, which is fun, but I like being able to work and getting challenged by other artists, um, working with different type of genres and sounds. It's just kind of interesting to me to see how people react when they hear my music, or how I'm able to tap into certain emotions through certain messages that are conveyed. Because music kind of is like it can be used for different things. It can be used to heal people, or it can be used to hurt people. It can be used to push positive or negative. So I try to push out as much positivity with my music. I try to stay away from a lot of the negative things. Now, I do have some clients who, that's their art, that's how they choose to express themselves, and I respect that. But at the same time, I try to push more positive than negative, because we have those options to do that. So just to see the smile on people's faces when they hear my music, or just to know somebody was able to use my idea to create something great that other people like, it just really gives me a warming feeling, a sense of responsibility as well. A very, very big sense of responsibility, because I'm sending a message out to people that subconsciously can make them take action to do certain things. This music we listen to subconsciously gets in our heads, and you may have that song that you sing randomly out the day, or you may have these lyrics that you just got stuck in your head, or this beat that you have. So I try to not put out so much stuff that's just so negative or so condescending to the community, or, misrepresents the things that I think about and believe in.
Right. So listen, when I say he does a great job, and I posted, on your intro, you saw I put two of your posts from Instagram.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so some people wouldn't even realize, like, you've been able to work with, some of the celebrities that, before they might have been in the celebrity bent stage. But to see that you've been doing this for a long time and being able to work with them. So you can actually go to his page. Even though in the intro, I only put in the intro the video, but I didn't put the sound because I want you to go to his page. I want you to
Yes,
go to his
ma'am.
Instagram page so you can actually hear the sound. It was amazing. Like YK Osiris, like I liked it. You know, it was good. The video I saw, that it was actually really good, and I was like, he sounds so different than what he puts out now, but it sounded
Right.
really good. And I say he can do a little rap and stuff. Okay. So I thought that was really, really good. So definitely you all can go to his Instagram page. I'm going to put it back up real quick so you can see. It is Jordan Daniels. It's Kingpin Music. Definitely go to his Instagram page. Like, share, follow, all those great things. If
Definitely.
you are looking for somebody to do music, y'all, when I tell you, he's now my producer. Like, I done claimed him as my producer on everything because I'm about to drop an album. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
this is my
For sure.
midlife crisis album that he gonna do for Kim K,
Hey,
not Kardashian. Okay.
Right.
So he does a phenomenal job. If you just give him an idea, he can just take it. I told him what we wanted Bars Unlocked to be like, and what he sent me back was something amazing. Would not have thought it was going to be like that. So definitely, if you have young people that you want to be taught music, if you want to work with him, if you want to learn from him, you definitely please go to Instagram, follow him, DM him, all of those things. I know he got a website. We'll also put across the screen. What's your you have a website they can reach you at too, right?
Yes, ma'am. I do have a website. So I'll have that link posted in my social medias. I'll have that link posted as well.
Okay. All right. So definitely y'all check him out because his music is really, really good. His
yeah.
work is really, really good. His work ethic is good. He's gonna make sure he produces you something that you're going to like. And if it's something that you say you need tweet, he's not one of those that will not take that, and or he doesn't get offended if somebody doesn't like something. He just
Right.
help make it work. But I'm telling you, he's very talented at what he do. And I'm glad that you didn't let incarceration just put you in a place to where I think I can't conquer anything, because I've seen you come out here and every single thing, you know, because I'm always, y'all listen, to know me is to know me.
Definitely.
I'm
Definitely.
I'm gonna bug you if I know that you got something great in you. I'm gonna bug you. I'm gonna keep calling you. I'm gonna keep checking. I'm gonna keep, you know, what they would say hounding, but it's not, because I know it's something great. And so he done put up with Dr. Carter.
Oh, wow.
Listen, keeping it real, Drew done put up with me for about almost 30 years as my
Yeah,
friend.
man. And she gonna get that purpose out of you. If
Oh,
it's in you,
definitely. Oh,
she gonna
definitely.
get it out you now.
Definitely.
That's why we here right now doing this. It's purpose.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yes, I have Mr. Jordan everywhere, but but to hear you speak, because as you was talking, I got so many nuggets I could put as a Facebook post. Like so many different nuggets, quotes from what you just said, from the youth part to people that are, you know, incarcerated. Like so I'm just waiting on you to start public speaking. I'm waiting on you to really get on social media and do that part of your purpose too, because you speak so well. Very
Thank
articulate. And so I think those are the other things outside of just talent, your ability to articulate, your ability to speak well, and what you speak about, and what you say is the thing that will also keep you in the room engaged. And so I think that's another thing that those that are coming out of incarceration, as you said, reading books, really pulling in that knowledge, so that way when they come out, it matters, but it doesn't matter of what your past was. what it says, because what you show people is what they'll end up resonating with. And
Right.
so I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see all that you do. Every time I hear about something, y'all listen, I be like, Mr. Daniels, fill this out. Mr. Daniels, do this.
Definitely.
So this one is one that I've enjoyed. We've laughed about stuff. I've told him to do things, and he's just looking at me like, I ain't doing that. He's looking at me like he ain't about to do it.
So I got a question right quick. Did the charge that you received, did that affect your ability to vote?
Yes, I am a convicted felon, so I'm not going to be able to vote until I apply for clemency after my 7 years as a felon. So yes, I no longer can vote at all. So I mean, that's one of the consequences of my actions. You know, I also had I was a concealed carry. I had my permit. I lost that as well. You know, but I mean, again, these are all consequences of my actions. And one thing that I was taught, and I stress to everybody, like you gotta have accountability. You gotta be accountable for your actions. Until the only way you can get over the things that you've done in your past is to be accountable for what you did. You know, because a lot of people who I met when I was incarcerated, they thought was, well, yeah, they caught me, but I wasn't really in the wrong. Or, man, them people ain't had no reason to search me. There's a lot of that conversation, but it's like, if you just were accountable for what you did do, not what you didn't do. Be accountable for what you did do, you could kind of get past that and then move on and then go forward with your life. But if you're still going to think about what other people around you could be blamed for, because I could have blamed the judge, I could have blamed the state attorney, I could have blamed the lady I was working for with the voter registrations, I could blame the dudes I was working for with the petitions, but I made my actions that caused the consequences. So accountability is one thing that I really, really definitely stress. Definitely stress.
Right. And the one good thing I will say, once your probation is over and all your fines or fees are paid, you don't have to wait 7 years. You can go register to vote the same day, the day after. You'll be able to, because now you'll be cleared because of Amendment 4 in Florida gave those that were convicted felons the right to vote after all fines and fees are paid and you're not on any probation. So we don't have to wait for 7 years. Hopefully it'll be real soon.
Definitely.
For you to be able to vote. That's what we're looking for.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Definitely.
So this has been an amazing interview. Drew, you got anything else before we go to the next segment? You got another question?
Nah, he done came with it. I got everything. Nah, yeah.
Listen, Drew probably finna do him an album too.
Look, I'm gonna put some bars over the intro music.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Change it up a little bit. Put some bars over that music. Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. Happen. We can shoot a whole video, you know?
Right. Definitely. I'm all for it. Definitely.
So since we are talking about music today, and Mr. Jordan is a producer and an engineer, so for our chuckle/question segment today, I want to drop this video so that way we can get a little bit wisdom from Mr. Jordan on what we could do with this. We got questions, so check this out.
Charlie, will you ride it down for me? Tell me, would you go around, cross the line for me? 'Cause I promise I'll do the same. I promise I'll do the same. Shawty, will you ride it down for me? Tell me, would you go around, cross the line for me? 'Cause I promise I'll do the same. I promise I'll do the same. Promise I'll do the same. Shawty, ride it down, go around, would you go cross the line? Tell me, would you really ride for a nigga, hold it down for a nigga when he doing that time? Would you fuck on me when I'm not around, when I'm out of town?
Okay. like that.
Listen,
That's
I was
good. I
like,
like that.
hey,
Hey,
Okay.
give me that 90s vibe on that. We
Definitely.
used to
okay,
do
I was
that in
just
high
gonna say
school.
that.
like some H-Town or something,
Yeah.
hey.
Definitely.
So, I know I got questions. Other people got questions. Even the video said, why can't all the guys in prison sound like this? So, what do you think about just them? What could you do for them?
Oh man, I just like Drew said, that's like that 90s vibe. I love that. That's like my era of R&B. That's my favorite era of R&B. I love 80s and 70s soul, but that 90s R&B just hit totally different.
Yeah.
I definitely could sit in with them and compose a instrumental track that they could record over. I could work with them just sound wise. I mean, and then they most likely wrote that song together. So just the harmonics they have together, I definitely could use them just to, form a good record with them. Or if they had an idea, like they could do things like jingles, because the way they sound, like those voices are so smooth and pure. I like that, and the harmony was just amazing. I would honestly try to sample their voice or use their voice for sample records to try and put in like songs for other artists who need choruses on their songs and things like that. Like this a lot can be done with that. I prefer working with singers, especially male singers, because it's hard to find like a male singer with that ballad type of voice nowadays. That's something that's lost in the art right now. So I definitely would do a lot of work with them as far as like trying to come up with a couple singles or even getting them to write for other artists and put their music out as features on hooks and choruses, something like that, because they definitely have it. I like that vibe. I like that vibe.
Okay. Listen, so I'm sitting here. You done came up with a whole extension to your business.
Definitely.
And what I think outside of just the music part, but the number of talents and gifts and skills that are incarcerated, and to know that I'm in here, I'm doing this music right now, I'm just trying to pass time and be a good time for people that's in here, but to know that if I could use this gift right now while I'm in here to be able to write for other people, or even if I'm on the phone conversation and I got to sing it for them 15
Right.
minutes
Right.
to get it onto however, and have me a whole album and making money and not having to resort to other things. See, I always think about the end result of not having to resort to the things that got you there, or the things that will keep you there, or make you get new charges and all of
Right.
that. So how can we use your gifting and ability? I think, and there's so many in there that can sing, can rap, and write. So
Right.
like, yeah, it needs to be tapped into on a bigger scale. So
Definitely. Definitely. Especially like I would like to do that seriously, Dr. Carter, because it's a lot of talented individuals who just feel like they don't have an outlet, or they may not have a person who's going to listen to them without judging them, without having ulterior motives. And, I would definitely want to be their voice, especially in this industry, because, they may come home and think, oh man, it's going to be hard for me to find somebody who's going to listen to me. They might judge me because of my past, or they just want my money and take my sound. Like, no, I genuinely want to help an individual who's returning citizen who's trying to do something like that, because they don't have the outlet. They don't have even to the point where, trying to start a program where we can work with them and kind of get them their own publishing and license out their own, sound, even during incarceration, so they have something to look forward to when they come home, have some money for themselves and their family. And when they do return, you don't even have to think about resorting to old things. You already got your career started before you even touch the turf. So
okay, well, we ain't gonna tell them no more. You can see me next week,
Is
and we're gonna
is it
work this
is it
plan
music
for you.
programs in the prisons? Is it any
um,
kind of music programs?
Some places,
not
but
to my
not.
knowledge. I don't believe so. I don't, and that would be something that'll be real unique if they did have that. Just the prison and jail system in Florida is weird. I've never been to prison. I have family members and friends who've been to prison. Again, I feel like if you have more things to rehab these individuals and have more programs like Dr. Carter program that individuals who want to do better can take advantage of, then you wouldn't have so many, failure rates of people who return back to jail or prison. I have a lot of individuals who I met who, I befriended while incarcerated, who had a lot of plans and a lot of things they wanted to do, but they never took advantage of a lot of these opportunities. And I look for them when I get out and I try to find out about them. A lot of them went back. A couple of people lost their lives, you know what I'm saying? And it's a sad story because a lot of them never really took advantage of these programs or these situations. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them weren't offered. You got a lot of people who can do different things with the music, who can do different things with handiwork, who can do different things with culinary skills. And the prison and jail system in Florida, they offer certain things, but for the most part, it's not to rehabilitate. It's to correct the behavior, but you're not rehabilitating. You're teaching them a lesson, but you're not giving them an opportunity to become better than they were when they came in. And just that idea alone is just kind of sad because it's like it's almost like they promote a revolving door theory. Like, we don't give you so much for you to do so that, we expect you to come back, because that's what I'm saying, that promotes what my job is, because if the jails aren't filled up, then there's no need for correctional officers. There's no need for all that stuff. And the goal is, if you mess up one time, you don't want to go back again, because the reality of that situation is the penalties and the punishment becomes harsher and harsher every time. So I don't want to say that they aid to that situation, because everybody makes their own decisions. But I will say that I wish that the prison and the jail system offered more opportunities and more programs in different areas, you know what I'm saying? So the inmates who are there, who want to learn, can learn with their respective skills. I would love to be part of a music program to teach, you know what I'm saying, inmates that, you can do everything from writing songs to learning how to produce music to even learning how to read and write music. I met a lot of individuals in there who are extremely talented, is not even just rappers, poets, spoken word artists. I met a lot of people who could write short stories out of this word. And it's just amazing the amount of talent that they never even thought they could do. But it's just like, when you're incarcerated, you have to really get in tune with yourself and who you are as a person. You learn so much about yourself. You may learn something about yourself that you never knew you could do. I never thought I would be a certified dog trainer. And it's like, I can literally like talk to dogs, train dogs, like figure out what's going on with them by their body language, by the way they approach an individual. It's so much that I've learned from the entrepreneurial program about how to conduct business, how to build my business credit, things I never would have even thought about, or things that I never thought through thoroughly. And having other programs like that, just to help male and female, you know what I'm saying, on both sides. I mean, there's a lot of females I know who incarcerated who could do hair really good, could do makeup really good. You know what I'm saying? I remember they had the barber program. They don't have that, I don't believe, or they don't promote it as much. But there's so many other things that they could do to give these opportunities to these individuals incarcerated so that they can come out and flourish.
Absolutely. Well, this has been
Yes, sir.
real. It's been real good. I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited to see where all of this is going to take you. Listen, Bars Unlocked and Dr. Carter is along for your ride. You know what I'm saying? And this won't be the last time we probably have you on Bars Unlocked, or you might be on a panel or traveling the country with us while we going around to all these places.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will be our engineer.
Yes, ma'am. Proudly.
You are the official Bars Unlocked music engineer.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna get into our next segment. Before we wrap up, you can stay on if you want to. That's up to you. We'll be on for a few more minutes. But Drew, what do we have in the breaking news today?
Well, in the news today, we're gonna talk about something similar to his story, which is a lady who was caught up and she out of appeal overturned for 5 years for voter fraud. It's kind of similar situation, but after going to court, she got it overturned and she was successful in getting that taken off her record and everything. So I was thinking, along the same lines that with you, over a period of time, maybe you could get that taken off your record if that was a one, or how you gonna deal with that issue moving forward?
Um, Going forward with that issue, I'm taking it as a learning lesson, but I'm also learning more about the laws. Um, I was ignorant. I was ignorant in the fact that I did hire a lawyer when I immediately got arrested, but I didn't have full conversations with this lawyer, and I really should have looked up and learned more about the law myself, to find out the ins and outs, because just following his word and listening to my public defender as well, they were just of the mindset of, hey, you wrong, take the charge, and hopefully they will be lenient with you. The state will be lenient, the judge will be lenient. I wish I would have had more knowledge about the situation. Even though it was a mistake I made, I wish I would have had more knowledge and learned more about the law. And I will continue to research and find out more about the laws. And if there's a way that once my probation court fees are done that I can hopefully get this overturned, I would definitely pursue that. But even if it wasn't the way, I'm still accountable for my actions, and I'm not going to let me being a convicted felon, me being arrested, me being on the news have any effect on my future. I'm still going to continue to do what I do to be better than I was the day before. I'm still going to do what I do to help other people out. I'm still going to stay on the straight and narrow path that I've been on, staying away from people, places, and things to make sure that I don't make that mistake again. So I'm going to still make it as positive as possible, regardless.
There you go.
Y'all heard what
There
he
you go.
said. Stay away from people, places, and things. See, sometimes we just say, oh, I ain't around the people, but we still be around the things and the
Yeah,
places.
the things. Yeah, the
Yeah.
things get
The things is the worst.
Definitely.
So stay away from people, places, and things that don't align with where you're trying to go.
And another good thing he's talking about is accountability. That's what he said. A lot of people don't take accountability. The whole episode he been saying he knew what was going on. He accepted what was going on, and he persevered through that. So accountability is very important in moving on.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So we also have what's called the Men's Retreat. It is a returning citizens men's support group, and that we are now going virtual instead of in person in Florida. So any man that's a returning citizen across the state of Florida will be able to get on virtually to our meeting. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can actually register at the link, and then you will be included in that. This support group is for men to have other people that are like-minded people where they can get, help, guidance, information about various things that pertain to returning citizens. Sometimes people that have never been incarcerated do not understand all the things that a returning citizen have to go through. So, and then the laws change in different states. So we wanted to make sure that we had this support group and go virtual, so any man across any state, any country could be a part of that. Because if I live in Florida, but I'm about to move to California, the laws and the way jobs work is different for returning citizens in Florida than they are in California. So if you have
Yeah.
men that are there that can assist you or
Right.
show you some of the things, because there may be ways to get licensed for a certain type of profession in California, where Florida, most of them you can't get licensed. So we
Definitely.
want to make sure there's a support. There's a lot of groups for women, but to have one specifically for returning citizen men, that's a support group, not just, oh, you come and just connect on business. No, this is connect on life.
Right.
Because you might be going through a moment, men, that it's like,
Definitely.
I really want to go out here, and I know if I do, I'm a real fan. And that might be weighing on you. And we definitely don't want that to be your outcome. So to have another man be able to, no, man, it's not worth it, and show you something different. That's what
Yeah.
men need. And so we definitely want to make sure that we have that. And so I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Me and you can actually go and register. It is gonna be May 1st, 7:30 Eastern time. And that's the link at the bottom is bit.ly/ the men's retreat. This is going to be an amazing group. We've already had meetings in person, but now we are going virtual. So any man across the United States can be a part of it. And so we are at the end. This has been really, really good. We're at the end where we give our bars of hope because we want to encourage not just returning citizens, but we want to encourage everyone out there, um, United States, another country. It doesn't matter because we're going global. So we want to
Right.
reach everybody everywhere. And
Right.
so today we're going to stay in the theme of music with our words of encouragement.
Appreciate you coming on. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate the message that you gave today. It's very positive and very inspiring, and that we appreciate your candor and everything you brought to the show today.
I appreciate y'all for the opportunity to get on the platform and, just speak to the people and let them know my point of view. I know it won't be the last time. I definitely enjoyed myself. It was very therapeutic for me. I'm really don't talk a lot. So this is like my first podcast, and I definitely had a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself, and I look forward to doing a lot more work, especially with Dr. Carter. She's gonna put me to work. One thing about it, she
You
gonna put
already
me to
know.
work.
You already know.
She gonna put me to work. So definitely.
So we are at the last segment of our episode for today, which is our bars of hope. We come to encourage everyone. So this is the segment where every word becomes a beacon of hope, proving that even within the toughest of circumstances, the human spirit persists. And so I'm going to leave you with this awesome word today. Like a symphony, life is composed of various melodies and harmonies. Embrace each note, whether low or high, knowing that all contribute to the beauty of your unique composition. Just as a musician practices diligent to perfect their craft, remember that every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth and refinement. It's an opportunity to turn obstacles into your way. Let the rhythm of perseverance guide you through the, the levels of adversity and the soothing melodies of triumph. Trust in your ability to create a masterpiece. I'm going to say that again. Trust in your ability to create a masterpiece with every step you take. Keep playing your song and let the music of your journey inspire others to find their own rhythm, resilience, and hope. Again, this has been Bars Unlock. I am Dr. C, the Purpose Resuscitator, with my co-host, Keeping It Real, Drew, and our other co-host, Miss Holly P, that's not with us today, and the magnificent Mr. Jordan Daniels with Kingpin Music. This has been a great, great time on today. And so, y'all, we out again. This is Bars Unlocked, stories behind the sales.